Cool. All right, guys, introduce yourselves. They know who we are. They feel really bad for themselves about it, but
I'm Ashley Joe. I'm an owner and technician at Pacific Northwest Automotive in Astoria, Oregon.
very cool. Very cool.
Jeremy, also owner, technician,
Right?
P&W.
Very cool. Very cool. So we're here at ITTC. Is that the abbreviation?
Did you forget where we were?
No, I didn't forget where we were. I forgot the name of where we are.
It's on your thing. Oh, you're not
Nothing's
even
over
wearing
there.
ITTC.
The iScan Technical Training Conference.
Yeah.
What do you think, guys? David's flight got canceled.
My
He's
flight got
super
canceled.
bummed.
I am.
Super upset about it. He had planned to be out of here way before now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm beginning to think this is his way of not having to clean up everything. He just bounces.
We're gonna bounce even earlier.
That's why
Had
was
I left
upset.
earlier, I'd be on a plane right now on my way home. But I didn't. Just for you, dear. Just for you. I'm gonna push back this flight as late as I could possibly do it and still get to Kansas City today.
I'm sorry. Now I feel bad.
You don't feel bad. You don't have feelings. It's all dead inside. It's just a
Oh, that's a
black
good
ball dead inside.
I mean, maybe, mate. You know, my wife would probably agree with you.
You think so?
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna murder you.
You noticed you
waited. Yeah, you waited.
Absolutely. Just to make your day a little bit better. So, what do you guys think of the training so far?
The training's been outstanding. Really have enjoyed the different instructors. Enjoyed talking to the instructors that we didn't take classes from, like in passing.
Right. Yeah.
It's been like a really personal experience, I think, because it's a smaller group of people. So we've been able to interact a lot more than at the last couple of conferences that
Right.
we've been to.
Yeah, and that's been a big theme here recently at this event is that everybody's saying, "Hey, because it is smaller, we're able to talk, we're able to chat,"
Right.
and it's. I think part of it is because it's not at a hotel, so everybody can't go to their room and chill out
Yeah.
in between classes or whatever. So I think that helps as well. So, and you guys are in ASOC, right?
Mhm.
Very cool. Very cool.
He
So-
doesn't seem that sure. Do you
No,
know what
yeah.
we're talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Okay.
He's like, man,
I've seen you
He-
post.
Yeah.
Yeah, she
But not so
spends
much.
more time on it than I do. That's for sure.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Well, he's usually doing all kinds of stuff in the shop, to be fair. So.
Right. So tell us a little bit about your business. What are you guys into with the business right now?
We started out actually as transmission specialists,
Okay.
rebuilding, doing internal stuff there.
Okay.
And we kind of moved more into general. And then from there, just recently, we really moved into the European market. We found when we moved to the coast, there isn't anybody out there that's even willing to service them. So
Right.
people are driving from the coast of Oregon into Portland. And I came from the field service engineer industry. I used to work at Intel. So I really like the high level troubleshooting. So it fits
Right.
my likes. And he's just kind of been along for the ride as I,
I
steered
came
us in
along
that.
kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
Right. Whether you liked it or not.
Exactly.
I've come to embrace it.
Right.
Well, what aspect? Shop owning?
No, the European vehicles.
I don't want to own a shop. Keep working on microchips. This is terrible.
That got terrible too, though. So
Did it really?
Yeah.
Why?
just different types of people moving into the industry and then changing.
What does that mean?
Well, they changed kind of the way that the vendor, because I work for Hitachi AI Technologies and I've worked for Lam Research, and they changed the dynamic between Intel and then the tool owners, the tool vendors,
Uh-huh.
and it just was a lot more abrasive than it was, 10 or
Really?
15 years ago. Yeah.
So you were servicing like the factories? What were you like specifically doing?
I serviced like the deposition process of the semiconductor stuff.
Okay.
So turbomolecular pumps, RF, microwave, stuff like that, which is why I really like the European. The schematics are very similar to what I'm used to.
Right.
So for
They're
me,
nonsensical gibberish
that's
and
it.
missing everything.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I guess we didn't need to know half this information. Like,
We'll
whatever.
figure it out,
Do you
I-
figure it out?
a lot of
Nobody
times-
figures it out.
Well, see, I'm used
I
to
think you're posing a
proprietary-
little bit.
I'm used to proprietary information and having to fill in the gaps there.
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Oh well,
so
yeah. I could see that. Yeah. You guess.
He figures out a lot of the gaps that I don't figure out. So
Right. Right. So you joined ASOC a while back. I've seen you guys at some training events recently. Is this a new development for you guys attending the actual training events, or is this something you've done all along?
We used to go to local ones,
Okay.
More closer to where we're from.
Okay.
This year is the first year that we've really reached out and gone to Kansas City and
Right.
Seattle and to this one.
Right. And so what's your takeaway?
Love it.
It's a game
Love it.
changer.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so, what's different about this event? What's different than from Vision to the events you were attending before? What's your big takeaway from that?
Not to say anything bad about the local instructors, but the quality of instruction is like a completely different level. You have
Right.
people that are truly masters of the industry.
Yeah.
And they network with so many different people in so many different areas. They have more knowledge available to pass on to us than we would
Right.
get at, the local NAPA training, for
It's
example.
a much
Right.
larger pool of knowledge.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so one of the things that came up just a little bit earlier in the day is that there's only so many classes that they can host at any given time.
Mhm.
Right. So if they only do a class a month, that's 12 classes in a year. And some of that's not going to apply to you, or it's stuff that it serves no benefit. So I think the ability to have multiple classes in one period of time that you can knock out some stuff that's important to you, I think that's really important. So you were just in Craig's class. Tell us a little bit about Craig's class.
Well, he basically went over using the Otis, unit, and
Right.
I don't have a lot of experience with it. We use Rostec. We've used Rostec for quite a while,
Right.
on our Volkswagen Audi stuff. I learned a ton. I learned a lot. That the capabilities of that Otis
Right.
just blows me away.
Yeah.
And as far as the actual instruction itself, he's great. He's and it was an enjoyable class.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And every class has to be enjoyable if you're actually going to get anything
Yeah.
from it. So speaking of that, Otis, doesn't it require VSP now?
Yes.
Do you have a VSP?
Not currently. No.
Are you thinking about it?
Oh, we will. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Can't even download the stupid thing. I
Really?
can't even flash a PCM. I can't do jack. You gotta have a VSP.
So are you going to get VSP
I
credentials?
sent in my stuff, and then I got back this long list of, hey, you didn't do this right because apparently I didn't read the application.
It's got a really long checklist, but if you follow the checklist and
Yeah, I
you,
didn't do that. I get it. I understand. I didn't do that.
it just goes right through. I mean, it doesn't.
Do you have one?
It's ambiguous.
And we don't use it as much as you would think you would use it in a lot of ways. I think it's important. And kind of what I hope for is that NASTA becomes the gatekeeper for information. So some of these shops that are not doing things the right way, maybe they're not going to have access anymore. In my mind, a lot of shops say, hey, that's not fair. It's not fair that we don't have access. Look, all it's doing is making sure you're insured, making sure you have a business license, making sure you're legit. If you're not legit enough to
That
get
all
a
sounds good to me.
VSP,
Right.
maybe you shouldn't be working on cars.
Right.
So they're gonna lock everything out except for like powertrain and transmission.
The biggest complaint that I have heard,
And those shops that you're complaining about are only gonna work on the powertrain and transmission. Like everything else, they're gonna be like,
well, the shops that I'm thinking of had situations where something had happened in their past, and because something had happened in their past, they didn't qualify because of the credential requirements of NASTA.
yeah, but at that point, then you have to then make the business decision to hire somebody in who is VSP
Right.
certified. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you can't stay a one-man shop at that point because you're going to be out of business. You don't have any access to any information.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm just saying the majority of people who have said that they think that the VSP program is bad has been somebody who probably like they've got something to gain that's not doing it the right way, or they've got a reason that they weren't able to be credentialed. So they said, that's not fair. Right. I mean, that's what I
can
determined.
understand it.
Yeah.
I see their argument. 100% see the argument. But at the same time, the OEs are hesitant to release the information because
Right.
it's proprietary and they don't want anybody to have access to it, and they don't want their cars jacked, and they don't want to have that perception out there. So they need that gatekeeper. And I mean, how else are you going to do it?
Yeah. I mean, I absolutely.
It's fine to bitch, but if you don't have a solution, like I don't see any other way to get around them locking you out of everything, because they could just do it arbitrarily. They could just
Right. Exactly.
unilaterally, I should say, they could just decide, hey, we're just like Mercedes, just lock you out and say, you know what, screw you guys.
Right.
We're not
I mean,
giving you
there's
any access.
there's not really anything that makes them beyond emissions, right? There's nothing that says they have to. They could do whatever they wanted to do, really. I mean, it's their proprietary information. And I think if you look at John Deere, right? Y'all have heard the John Deere story. Now the thing about it is at the end of the day, John Deere caught so much heat in the national news that they finally said, hey, tell you what, you can buy our software. Here you go. Right? Like, and I think it's a pay to play game, right? If you want the information, you should have to pay for it. And that's also a bit of a boundary to make sure that the right shop's working on the vehicle.
So what do you guys do for Mercedes?
Right now, we don't do anything for them.
You just don't work on them?
No, we work on them, just nothing real high level.
Have you got an iScan?
Yeah.
So it may be thinking about
Yeah, we just got an iScan
very cool.
recently, so
Right.
we're just kind of stepping into that.
What do you think so far? You had a chance to use it and really dig in?
Yes, we've used it some.
What were you using before?
We
It
have
varies. We have an Autel. We've had Snap-on units. We do have
But
Yeah,
for
but-
European?
we have an Opus.
yeah, we use the Autel quite a bit for Euro stuff, and then Opus, and then like I said, we have the VCDS, and we have what's the BMW one?
Ista. We have Ista.
Yeah, we have
Plus.
the Ista as well, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I like VCDS, right? I
Oh, I
really
do
do.
too. Yeah.
It's a
It-
really cool tool, and especially for the price point,
Mhm.
it's hard to beat it.
What is
You-
that? I don't know what that is.
Like Hexcan, they had the little dongle you could buy. It's all the Volkswagen and works on Audi too. It's the
Is it Rostec? Was
Rostec.
that what you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it works really well.
Yeah,
and
it
if you
was-
learn to use it, man, it's a powerful tool.
How's that different from expert mode and Snap-ons?
well, honestly, I would say one of my favorite things about it is the support that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can call Rostec
Yeah.
and say, "I'm lost. What do
Yeah.
I do here?" And they'll lead
Yeah.
you through it.
Yeah, and there's tons of videos out there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's
yeah.
tons of videos of people who really know how to use them
Yeah.
and really put them together. So,
There's videos and there's a lot of support on their website as well.
yeah, yeah.
And now it was a game changer when we got into that, and now I'm looking at the other unit going, "Oh man,
Right,
even
dude.
more capability."
yeah, absolutely.
So are you guys going to continue to service Mercedes? Because the idea is Mercedes is going to bow out and just, you either have our OE scan tool and pay the bajillion dollars, or you're
We're probably going to continue to service them and just get the OE scan tool. I mean, in
Right.
the last 2 years, our business model has changed a lot. We started out like everybody did with just generic scan tools, and in the last couple of years, we've invested in like the Land Rover scan tool, and we have a Tech 2, and we have the Ista Plus, and we have the VCDS and stuff, and we're just kind of going in that direction where we're just going
Right.
to do that, except for we're going to just do that for the different European makes. So.
Yeah,
Right.
it's another reason to specialize. Just kind
Yeah.
of shift
It
more
just
towards
gives
Tighten
the
it
Euro,
down a little
because-
bit. Right. So, with both of you being owners and on the technical side, are you doing the service writing yourselves, or do you hire somebody to do the service writing? Tell us a little bit about how the shop operates.
We've had service writers. Our service writer just went on leave for, she just had a baby. So we don't know if she's coming back. We have a new one coming in. She starts in a week. And then in the interim, we write service. I
Right.
write a lot of service.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. So you joined the group a while back. What have you learned from ASOG so far?
There's so much, you learn first that you're not alone, that there are other shop owners, and there's just such a network of experience. You have
Yeah.
new people, you have people that have been in the industry for so long. You have so many people that can answer your questions, and so many people that have different answers, and you can kind of pick and choose what fits your locale or what fits your business model, because what works for you guys may not work in Astoria,
Exactly.
but what works for somebody else in a small coastal town, they've already been there and done that. You can take that experience and put that into your own.
Right. And not have to reinvent the wheel. I was telling David that the other day that when I started my business, I had this idea I was going to reinvent the wheel.
Oh yeah, we all did.
And so then like you begin to learn like, hey, this isn't working. And you find yourself running the same wheel that everybody else runs. Right. Except for David. David would sell his shop. Right. You need a shop in Kansas City?
you guys need to spread out.
Spread out.
a bit, yeah.
Yeah. Half a honey bun. I mean, at this point, he might be down to a quarter of a honey bun.
No. I racked up even more debt. It was about that stupid ADOS machine.
How is that going? Have you?
Yeah.
How's it going?
It looks pretty. I leave it on so it like flashes the lights. And stuff.
But I mean, are you starting to pick up ADOS business, or
No, hell no.
have you done anything to
No, I
try and
haven't
pick
done
up?
anything either.
Are you afraid of it?
Just looks
What's
at the
that?
lights.
Yeah,
Just
he
look at
likes
the
the
light.
flashing
I look,
lights.
I look at the lights and pay the bill. That's
Okay.
Are
yeah.
you afraid of it?
No. Oh, not at all. No, I'm afraid of having to, work. So like, I want to build a landing page for it, buy some domains, which I haven't even started doing that. I'll do that when I get back. But I need to buy some domains, start driving some traffic. I know people are at least searching for it in my area.
Mhm.
So I want to try to pick up that business. And then I need to go out and just make some sales calls and just pick up some local shops that want to now send to the dealer. The problem is that the local dealerships are charging less than $200 to these calibrations, but they're not doing proper calibration. They're scanning the car doesn't have any codes, they're shipping it. That's it. That's all they're doing. And we've taken the vehicles to the dealerships and asked them, hey, did you guys calibrate this? Yeah, there's no problems. No, but did you like hook up the paddles and the whole thing? And they're like, no, there's no
$200.
problems. Yeah, not for $175 or not. Yeah,
Right.
you didn't spend 2 hours dicking around with this thing you didn't do anything. And so that's sort of the problem I'm going to run into is maybe I won't. I don't know, but I know everybody that I've talked to, all the vendors and the parts people, and everybody that comes in and says, "Hey, what's that thing?" So they're flashing at the corner of my shop, and I'm like, "That's the ADOS machine." And they're like, "Oh yeah, everybody's going to the dealer or the mobile guy, and the mobile guy's doing it out of the back of a van." It's like, well, you can't do it out of the back of the van. You can't. And so I have to explain that. And then I have to explain the dealership's just scanning and clearing codes or checking for codes. And if there's no codes, it's good to go. And then there's a few models out there that are dynamic calibration. They're just test driving or whatever, which is fine. But a lot of times dynamic calibration that gives you an either or, and dynamic calibration takes longer.
Mhm.
You can just statically calibrate and push it out the door and you're done in 15 minutes. I don't want to make sales calls. I hate being friendly to people. It's so exhausting. It is. It's like you're trying to be, and here like my biggest thing is like being fake. Like anytime I like smile and nod, hey, how you doing? Like just saying good morning to people is just.
I get it. I want the phone to ring. I just don't want to answer it.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I hired somebody to answer the phone.
So that was going to be my next question for you. In all honesty, how are you going to talk to the customers that have questions? Are you going to train your people as far as?
No, I'm
that
sending
goes?
those suckers to ADOS classes. I'm like, you guys better learn this garbage because I don't want to answer these questions. I don't even know the answers. Like I BS my way through. I don't give it an